My wife, 29/F, and I, 27/M, had our first major argument and now I think our marriage is finished. This happened last Monday. We've had fights but, most were small and simple, but this was different. It reminded me of my parents' horrible shouting matches. It started at dinner. My wife was stressed from work and getting presents for everyone. I was making dinner and I told her, hey, one good thing about not going to your sister's house is we don't have to eat her crappy cooking. It was a joke but, based in truth, her sister's house is the closest to everyone. Cooking is genuinely terrible. I was trying to cheer her up since even she agrees the food is horrible. We had already decided not to go over for Christmas. She just explodes in anger and we fight over me disrespecting her family and cancelling our Christmas plans, and then it turned to money. Eventually she calms down and says she's going to her family's Christmas party with or without me. Slept on the couch the next few days and she was cold and distant to me. We didn't do our annual Christmas Day morning sex. She left in the morning to go to her sister's with her presents. Not a word, not even a goodbye. As of now we're on talking terms but still have small fights here and there. I get the feeling the marriage is over. Do you think our marriage may be over, or am I just overthinking things? We've only been married for 2 years but dated for 4. Sounds like she secretly didn't agree with socially isolating for Christmas. Did she give any hint how upset she was about it? You're not a mind reader. Did she apologize too? Yeah, probably. But we talked about this extensively. I didn't want to take that risk since I have health issues. No, she hasn't apologized and I don't really expect her or want one. She's very distant and cold now to me. 1. Your wife works, and likely is forced to contribute 50% of the expenses. Does she make as much money as you? 2. Your wife gets everyone's gifts. What exactly are you doing? 3. You add to her stress by criticizing her family. 4. So instead of apologizing and trying to get to the bottom of what's bothering her, you pout and sleep on the couch like a baby, and then are all mahinas. Where's my Christmas sex? Grow TF up. Talk to your wife. Stop being a selfish baby and try shouldering some of her burdens like a real man would. I like how you make assumptions. Dumbass. Don't post shit if you don't know all the details. 1. She makes less than I do. 2. Working? Cooking? WTF do you think I'm doing? I did my Christmas shopping earlier. 3. I'll give you that. It was just a joke. I didn't read the room. Usually it's not big deal as we both hate our in-laws. 4. But, moron, I did apologize. I absolutely told her I was insensitive and acted like an asshole. I decided to sleep on the couch because I wanted to give her space. And dumbass, I did talk to her. I do you come into these threads to spew dumb shit without knowing anything? Maybe it was me and I should have clarified. But, yes, I did apologize and did make efforts to talk to her. Since she was still mad, I gave her space. It sounds like she's already been holding in resentment and you saying that was her excuse to let out how she really feels. Marriage takes work. You'll love and hate each other on and off over the years if you are in it for the long haul. That's why trust is important. You are trusting that the other person has the same goals you do. I trust her, but it's just the fight was explosive and her tone sounded like she hated me. I know all too well these sort of fights can be bad. My parents fought like this and it ended up leading to a divorce. That's why I'm concerned. Apologize sincerely, bro. Sounds kinda offensive to me if I heard that, but deep down there SHD other issues than that. Y'all SHD sit down and have a chat ABT this after you apologize. I did apologize, but we both joked about it many times. What really struck me was we had agreed to cancel our Christmas plans and just stay at home. We weren't gonna risk it since we're both unlucky. We had talked about it extensively and had both agreed to stay home. My boyfriend admitted that he wasn't physically attracted to me. So a couple of days ago my boyfriend and I were hanging out talking. We got into a conversation about what attraction means to each of us. Sounds weird, but it was a baked conversation. He ended up saying he wasn't physically attracted to me. I was not expecting that and pretty much stayed quiet. He jumped to explain that it was okay since I wasn't attracted to him either. This isn't true. I asked helped my head think that, and his explanation was that since he was older he figured I wasn't attracted to him. I told him that he was wrong in that assumption. I stayed pretty quiet after, but he kept trying to explain. He ended up explaining in a roundabout way that he settled for me but still loves me. I didn't and still don't really know what to say in response to this, and spending time together has been super awkward since. I want to talk about it with him but have no clue how to go about that. Any advice about it would be appreciated. I wouldn't be able to stay after that. I'd always feel like a consolation prize. Oh shit. That's bad. Listen, I know first impressions can be deceiving. I swiped left on my soon-to-be husband on a dating app because I didn't like his picture and got the wrong impression, and I told him that about a year into our relationship, but the second I saw him in person, I was a goner. I definitely didn't settle for him, and that's why he could laugh about it. Your boyfriend can find someone else to settle with if that's all he wants, but get out of that relationship. This is nothing you can just forget or take back. He ended up saying he wasn't physically attracted to me. I was not expecting that and pretty much stayed quiet. He kept trying to explain. He ended up explaining in a roundabout way that he settled for me but still loves me. Why stay in a relationship where someone settled for you? You're in your 20s, you have so much life and love ahead of you. Go and find it. Don't bother talking to him about this. I would suggest just end the relationship. Tell him you want him to find someone who is right for him. Someone he doesn't feel he's settling for. He's not only showing you, but he's haphazardly telling you exactly who he is. You should believe him. Smile. I could not be with a man who feels like he settled for me. Flushed face. In reverse, I couldn't be with a woman I believed I settled for. The whole concept is sickening. I mean, is it settling permanently or is a temporary settle while looking for an upgrade? Op, you deserve better, and that awkward feeling is your brain/heart/soul telling you that you deserve better. Don't settle for someone selling for you. Find someone who's thankful you chose them. Our staircase caused our divorce. I would like to tell everyone that this is a bad joke, but it's not. English is not my first language, so excuse me for any spelling mistakes. I, 33M, have been married to my wife, 28F, for almost 8 years now. We've always had our ups and downs, but today was our breaking point. We have an old house built in 1955 that we renovated step by step. One of the remnants of its post-World War II era is its small steps. It is nothing to cause concern, but everyone always needs to tread careful not to misstep because it could cause you to trip. Now comes the problem that went overboard on going a year. My wife has always been a hardhead. She doesn't like to apologize and is not a very emotional person. She's quite independent and someone who works hard and is a great mother, but she always has had problems with acknowledging a problem, shifting blame, trying every trick in the book to not take accountability. So our dangerous staircase is also her personal little stacking area where she stacks clothing and other stuff she wants to take upstairs or downstairs. Told her before all of this that this is dangerous and someone could get seriously hurt. Cue the first incident a year ago. As the light in the hallway portion is dim, I didn't see she put clothing again next to the railings and tripped. This caused me to tumble down the stairs and hurt my back and elbow. She didn't check up on me even though she heard me fall. I get it, she's not the caring type, so after the initial agitation I brushed it off, again because I know she's not very emotional, but I begged her not to put clothing or objects on the staircase because of this, and I told her this would happen. Next few days or so she does it again. Cue a half year later, our 6-year tells me mommy does dangerous stuff by putting all these things on the staircase. This woke me up and I beg and plead again not to do it because even our daughter thinks this is dangerous. I tried multiple times taking clothes away, but she did it again, time and time again. The inevitable happens and our 6-year-old tumbles down the stairs. I run up and thank God she is okay. I check her up and she said mommy really shouldn't be putting clothes there. After this I actually cried and pleaded to please stop doing this. This helped for about a week and she did it again. I started brushing it off because I knew she wasn't going to change. After the birth of our son, I got more agitated and resentful of her careless nature and told her if I ever dropped down the stairs while holding my son, there would be hell to pay. Nothing. Absolutely nothing on her part. Today the inevitable happened again and I tripped over a vacuum cleaner she had stacked at the bottom of our stairs in a blind spot. I tripped and fell while holding our son, barely holding on, and hitting my elbow on the stairs. I got so mad because the vacuum cleaner was still between my legs and kicked it out from between them out of pure frustration. She comes flying in the hallway yelling at me if I am normal for kicking the vacuum cleaner and then storms off. "No honey, are you okay? What's that noise?" I bring my son up to bed and a feeling of pure rage just sets in. Feed my 6-month-old son and put him to bed and go downstairs kicking all stuff off the stairs and go into the kitchen and yell at the top of my lungs and push her directional the staircase to start cleaning up this mess that almost caused me to drop my son. Her family was at our home for New Year's drinks and held me back while I kept yelling at her. This is in all within COVID regulation of my country, as I can invite limited amount of guests with a mask on. They tried to yell back at me, but I told them to fuck off if they think this behavior is normal, endangering her kids and husband, and yelled at them to leave. She stated that because I pushed her she wants a divorce, not once acknowledging yelling at me or causing me and her son to fall. I actually told her I perhaps thinks it's best if we part ways. My mother is pleading us to reconcile our differences for our 2 children because she doesn't want them to grow up with divorced parents, but I have no idea how to solve this. I know I shouldn't have pushed her or yell at the top of my lungs. My protective fatherly instinct kicked in, if I can describe it like this, which again is no excuse. I have no idea how to fix this or if my marriage is worth saving. It sounds absolutely ridiculous it had to come to this. When my nephew was a baby, I was carrying him down the stairs at my family's house and slipped/tripped on a bag my mum had put there. Managed to fall backwards/on one side, and thankfully he was in my other arm. Jesus, I was terrified. I'd tell her that this is the final straw, the steps go or you and the kids do. I honestly would have laughed in her damn face and tell her she's been pushing you and her own damn kids down them steps for how many years, yet you push her towards her crap and she loses her mind and it's intently divorce. Shows how important the health and safety of her children is to her. Next person that tells you to stay for your kids' sake, tell them that that's the exact reason you're leaving. Your children are not safe. I'm sure that they'd much rather grow up with divorced parents than have a dead parent/sibling or be in a wheelchair because of their mother's negligence. We've always had our ups and downs, pun not intended. In this miserable situation, this genuinely made me laugh. That's hilarious. Your staircase didn't cause your divorce. Your wife's selfish actions did. If the staircase wasn't a factor, it would have been something else. There is absolutely no excuse for her continuing to stack things on the stairs after repeated instances of her husband falling and getting injured. If you think this is detrimental at 33 years of age, imagine how much worse the impact could be in another 33 years. This marriage is not worth saving. Document the dates and times that these incidents occurred, especially those involving your children. Sue for primary custody on the grounds that your wife endangered the children's safety. You have a lot more patience than me. Personally, I would have instituted the black garbage bag rule after the first few warnings. Whatever I find on the stairs goes in the bag and out with the trash. Even if it was the vacuum cleaner, another one would be purchased, eventually.